Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the fifth lecture on Python for CBSE. And here we are going to further continue with the discussion on the print statements and the variations. In this lecture, we'll see something which is known as raw text and then multiple messages within print. Okay, so for example, let us say I have a message like this. Okay, suppose I have to print a location. Okay, and for that, let us say I create a new Python script and I'll print it. Print, and suppose this is my message that I want to print, and let's say I'll give the name third.py. Okay, now what I want, actually my intention is to print the path of, let's say, a pics folder that I have on my system. I want this to be displayed as a part of the output. Now let us see. If I go to the location, let me just clear the screen. Okay, let's say I write third.py, and if I try to execute, what I'm expecting is that whole message, this line should appear on the screen as it is. Now let us see. Now, what happened? What just happened? So here, what happened is the moment it found a backslash n, that is escape sequence, which has a meaning already defined in this within the Python, the programming language, it changed the line. Okay, and as we know, the backslash n has a special meaning, that is the line change. So it did n did not, backslash n was not printed. Instead, it stood for line change. So line changed after home, and then EW got printed. Now, one thing to note here is that not every backslash has a meaning defined. So backslash h it has no meaning. So okay, it came as it is, as was expected. Again, backslash p has no meaning, and there is no such escape sequence matching to that. However, backslash n has a meaning. This escape sequence is defined. So for that, line change occurred, and our purpose of displaying this path got defeated because this computer already has the specified meaning of this escape sequence. That is, whenever you come across this sort of meaning, backslash n, you escape the meaning of this character n and print it as backslash n, this new line. Okay, so in order to ignore or suppress the meaning of the escape sequences, if you do not want anything, if by chance any letter or combination forms the escape sequence, if you want to overrule it or if you do not want to print it, you just write R before the quotes. Okay, or R before the message that you want to print. In that case, you are suggesting the interpreter that I want the message that is placed within the quotes, okay, to be displayed in the raw form. It's the shortcut of raw form. R stands for raw. That means as it is, what is given, forget about all the escape sequences that you know. So in such a case, if you just print, you can see it has been taken in a raw sense, and it forgot all the meaning of whatever meaning was defined for the escape sequences. It ignored, that got suppressed, and this message appeared as it is. So R is used in case where we want the text contained within the quotes to be treated in the raw form, that is without the meaning of escape sequences. In such cases, we should use R. Again, now, since this escape sequences bear meaning only inside the quotes, that is the messages, and not in the numbers and expressions, okay, therefore this R also is used with messages only. Okay. Now, not only that, there are if you have multiple sentences, okay, that can also be grouped inside one single print. Let's say hi there, and after that you have second message. So that second message can also be clubbed inside a single print by separating each message by one comma. And like I said, you can use single quotes also. And now let's say I print how are you. Okay, and then let's say I print I am fine. Okay, and then I close it. Okay, so if you have multiple messages inside print, you can group them by separating with comma. Now we'll see the output. So it came in the one single line. So instead of having one message, you can have multiple messages separated within the single print, separated by commas. One thing to note here is that wherever comma is there, it is replaced by one blank space. If you can see, with high, after high we did not give any blank space, and before h we did not give any blank space. However, here we found one blank space, and then after u and before I, that is between second and the third statement, we found one blank space. So that is by default. What if you want to change the default behavior of or the default character, that is the blank space, and you want to use your own custom separator? In that case, we use a parameter known as SEP within quotes. Okay, I hope we remember that the first separator that we parameter that we learned was END. Okay, now this is another type of parameter which is SAP. So let's say you want star or ampersand after wherever comma is found separating two or more sentences, at all the places of comma, this ampersand will appear. Now let us see. So we can see instead of blank spaces, this is appearing. Okay. Now we'll see a few more variants. Okay, it can be also in the form of a sentence, let's say hash and then percentage. If you do, it will also, separator will change to that word, that message. You can see here. Okay, and so it is reflecting. Fine, but end won't be changed. We should remember all the commas between the sentences are only replaced. What I mean to say is, if I write print, let's say good morning, okay, and then I use sep is equals to, let's say star star, then here let us see what happens. Nothing happened here with the good morning. Why? The thing is that the concept is, if there are more than one sentences which are separated by comma, then only, or more than one message is separated by comma, then only this will appear, whatever separator value you have given. Because here only one message is there and there is no nothing to separate, therefore even if you give, it won't be displayed. So it is as good as not giving any value. Okay, now if you add another value here, let's say hello, now you will see, because now more than one sentence has come which is separated by comma, then this will appear between them. Okay, so we should remember separator only works if there are more than one sentences separated by comma. So in between those things, this will appear. However, after the last sentence, separator is not printed. Okay, so you might have guessed why, because that is governed by end. Okay, so if we write here end, and you remember that default behavior is \n, that's why after printing the last sentence, it is changing the line. So here, if you write anything symbol, then we will see that \n was overridden and good morning was printed without changing the line, because \n is the default, which means change of line. So we that was overridden by this special characters that we give. Okay, so in general, I like to mention that the general form of print is Okay, the general form of print is message one, let's say hi, comma, then separator is equals to open quotes, one space. By default there is space if we do not give anything, so that's why when we do not mention sep, we can see in this line there one blank space was automatically given because default value of sep given by the designers of this language is one blank space, and then end is equals to \n. This is the default behavior of any general print line. So even if you do not give these two, they are always the part of your print statement. If you mention them, the already existing value will be overridden. If you do not mention them, it will be taken by default. Okay, so these are default parameters and then sep. Not only that, you can have more than one messages separated by comma, anything like you can write okay x y z, and then so if you change these, then they will be overwritten. If you do not mention these or you use the same value, then the default behavior will be observed. Okay, so I think this clears out more or less everything about uh, print statements. For further, you can go to the reference material on my website, and in case I have not mentioned, so this is my website here to share the talk. Within the reference material, you can download for class 11, and here on the first and second page, I have given all the variants of print. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so a few just to recap, if you have if you do not have more than one sentence to separate, then separator even if you specify won't have any effect. And always governs at the end of printing. If one statement is there within the single print or more than one statement is there, after printing everything what should come is governed by end. If you do not give, \n will be taken, that is escape sequence which starts for change of line. And if you give in the separator, if you do not give anything, then default value of blank space will be taken. If you write any message there, that will be acting as separator in case there are more than one statements or one messages separated by comma within single print. Okay, so that covers more or less everything, all the basics of print and all the different variations of print. Thank you.